A computer, an AI, and one sentence that has shaken the entire tech world. Imagine this. You built a factory. Now that factory is creating its own next version. You are standing there watching, but you are no longer in control. This is not a movie story. This is happening in June 2026. And this statement is coming from the very company that built the AI itself. In today's video, we'll learn how an AI has started writing itself, why its creators say they have become frightened, and what the whole world is now trying to do to stop it. Watch until the end because I'll reveal the most shocking fact at the very end. In May 2026, a number was revealed. That number was 80. What does it mean? It means that more than 80% of the code for Anthropic's own software is no longer being written by humans. It is being written by their own AI, Claude. Just think about that for a moment. The company that created Claude now has software engineers who are often watching as Claude helps build the next version of Claude itself. As exciting as that sounds, it is equally terrifying. Because just a few days earlier, the same company stood before the world and warned that their AI could reach a stage where humans may no longer be able to fully control it. So the question is, are they creating a monster with their own hands? And if they are, is it still possible to stop it? Welcome to our channel. Today's video is different from all our other videos. Because today, we are not talking about an old piece of history. Today, we are talking about something that is happening right now. Something whose consequences may affect our entire civilization. Anthropic, many of you may have heard the name. It is an AI research company based in San Francisco, United States. It was founded in 2021 by Dario Amodei, his sister Daniela Amodei, and several others. They previously worked at OpenAI, but they left OpenAI for one reason. They believed that safety in AI development should come before everything else. They said, we are gonna build the safest AI. This company created an AI called Claude. Right now, millions of people around the world use Claude for studying, business, research, and writing. But what has happened over the last few days has changed everything. The 4th of June, 2026, Anthropic published a report titled, When AI Builds Itself. In that report, the company openly admitted that they may have reached a point from which there is no turning back. The story begins in February 2025. Anthropic launched a tool called Claude Code. It is a special system that allows Claude to write software code by itself. In simple terms, you tell Claude to do a task and Claude writes the code needed to complete it. Sounds pretty normal, right? But Anthropic did not build it only for outside users. They started using it for their own work as well. That means the very company that created Claude began using Claude to help build its own software. At first, the numbers were small. Maybe Claude was writing around 5% of the code while humans wrote the remaining 95%. Then, little by little, that number started increasing. 10%, 20%, 30%. And then within just 15 months, it reached 80%. By May 2026, more than 80% of Anthropic's own production code base was being written by Claude, not by humans. What does that mean? It means Claude is now helping build the next version of Claude. It is writing parts of its own code. It is helping update its own systems. There's a story that Anthropic itself shared in its report. At one point, a major problem occurred in their training system. Thousands of training jobs crashed. Normally, fixing a problem like that could take human engineers 2 to 3 days. An engineer gave Claude information about the issue along with some text context and access to the relevant cluster. They simply asked Claude to investigate what had gone wrong. Claude found the problem in just 2 hours. The issue was caused by an obscure debugging flag. Claude identified it, fixed it, and verified the solution on its own. 2 hours versus 2 to 3 days. That single example shows just how much things are changing. But the story does not end here. Now let's look at the number that might truly blow your mind. Inside Anthropic, there is a benchmark, a special test. Every new Claude model is given the same challenge. Make your own training code run faster. In other words, Claude is asked to improve itself. Back in 2025, Claude Opus 4 managed to make the training process 3 times faster than the original speed. That alone was considered remarkable. But in April 2026, Anthropic's most powerful model, Claude Mythos Preview, took the same test. Do you know what happened? It achieved a 52 times speed improvement. Take a moment to think about that. In just 1 year, the result jumped from 3 times to 52 times. That is not a small improvement, it is a quantum leap. And this is the point where Anthropic scientists began to worry. Because Claude Mythos Preview became so powerful that Anthropic decided it should not be released to the general public. When the model was first revealed in April 2026, Anthropic announced that it would not receive a public release. But why? Because the company believed that the model's cybersecurity capabilities could be dangerous if widely available. According to Anthropic, the AI could discover highly sophisticated software vulnerabilities on its own. In other words, it could identify previously unknown weaknesses in software systems without being explicitly shown where to look. Dario Amodei himself warned that capabilities like these could create destabilizing societal effects. So, what did Anthropic do? The company created a special program called Project Glasswing. Only a small number of selected organizations, particularly those connected with the US government, were allowed to access the Mythos model. For everyone else, access was closed. Now think about that for a second. An AI company is effectively saying, our AI has become so powerful that we cannot safely place it in everyone's hands. And yet, despite all these concerns, the development is not stopping. Not at all. On the 9th of June 2026, Anthropic surprised everyone again. They launched Claude Fable 5. What is it? It is essentially built on the same Mythos architecture, the same powerful foundation, but with additional safety guardrails added on top, some protections. In other words, it is not the fully dangerous AI, but a smaller version of it. Slightly less powerful, but still extraordinary. And now it is available to everyone. But just one day before this launch, on June 10, Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei published an essay titled Policy on the AI Exponential. In that essay, he says that AI is now advancing so fast that no government or regulatory system in the world can keep up. He is calling for mandatory testing of AI systems similar to how airplanes are tested. If an AI is considered unsafe, governments should have the power to block it. He is demanding mandatory testing in 4 critical areas: cybersecurity, bioweapons, loss of AI control, automated research and development. Read that last one again, loss of AI control, meaning humans losing control over AI itself. The CEO of a major AI company is openly saying that mandatory testing is needed because of these risks. Is this just talk, or is something real actually happening? Now let's move to the biggest and most frightening part. In the June 4 report, When AI Builds Itself, Anthropic uses a term that AI scientists have considered a nightmare scenario for a long time: recursive self-improvement. What does this mean? It means an AI that can improve itself, an AI that can design a more advanced version of itself without human involvement. If this actually happens, what would it look like? The first AI improves itself by 10%. That new AI improves itself again by another 10%. And then again and again. This loop never stops. With every step, the AI becomes more powerful. Humans start falling behind. Eventually, there could come a point where humans can no longer even understand the AI, let alone control it. Anthropic says we have not reached that stage yet, but it could arrive faster than any organization is prepared for. Now let's look at some numbers. In March 2025, Claude Opus 3 could reliably handle tasks lasting only about 4 minutes. By 2026, Claude Mythos Preview could handle tasks lasting up to 16 hours continuously. From 4 minutes to 16 hours in just a year and a half. And the most shocking part, the duration of these tasks was doubling every 7 months. Now it is doubling every 4 months. This means the rate at which AI is improving is itself accelerating. This is a concept in science known as exponential growth. And the most dangerous thing about exponential growth is this. At first, it feels slow and manageable, but after a certain point, it becomes so fast that no one can stop it. Now, here are some facts that most people do not know. First fact, one engineer at Anthropic has reportedly not written a single line of code manually for the past 5 months. 5 months. So what is he doing instead? He is guiding Claude, reviewing the code written by Claude, approving it. In other words, the human engineer has become more like a manager, while Claude acts like the employee. Second fact, researchers at Anthropic say that in late 2025, Claude's code quality was slightly worse than human written code. By mid-2026, it has become roughly equal, but they predict that by the end of this year, Claude's code will surpass human-level quality. Third fact, for difficult problems that Anthropic tracks open-ended tasks with no clear specifications, Claude's success rate was 26% just 6 months ago. Now it is 76%. From 26% to 76% in 6 months, at this pace, where will it be in another 6 months? Fourth fact, looking at total code contribution, production code is already around 80%, and when scripts and experimental code are included, the total share exceeds 90%. This means that at Anthropic today, humans write less than 10% of the code. Fifth fact, every engineer at Anthropic is now shipping about 8 times more code per quarter compared to 2024. 8 times. A company's productivity has increased by 8 times without hiring new employees, only by using AI. It sounds like a great achievement, doesn't it? But from the same set of facts, a bigger question emerges. If productivity increases 8-fold and AI keeps improving next year, then where exactly will human work fit into the system? But the most dangerous part of this entire story has not been told yet. When Anthropic says we need a global pause, who is actually going to listen? Because the problem is simple. Anthropic is not the only AI company in the world. There is OpenAI, there is Google DeepMind, there is Meta AI. In China, there is Baidu and Huawei. In Russia, there are others, and many more across the world. Anthropic itself says that if only one company stops, the others will not. The race will continue. This is a global coordination problem. It requires every AI lab in the world to agree on a single decision, but these companies are each other's biggest competitors. There is no real trust between them. On top of that, the biggest investments in AI today are coming from which countries? The United States and China. And these two nations are now in what many describe as a new AI Cold War. If the US stops AI development, China will not stop. If China stops, the US will not stop. So who will actually stop? There is no simple answer to this question. And this is where Anthropic's proposal comes in. They argue that we need a verifiable global mechanism, a system where all countries and companies agree to a shared set of rules and where compliance can actually be verified. But is that even possible? History suggests otherwise. Even with nuclear weapons, similar attempts were made, and we all know how complicated that outcome has been. Meanwhile, Anthropic itself has not stopped. They launched Claude Fable 5. They are working on new models. They are moving toward an IPO that could value the company at nearly $1 trillion. So on one hand, they are saying, stop, there is danger. And on the other hand, they are running forward. What do you call this contradiction? This is the biggest paradox of AI itself. Let's pause here for a moment. I want to ask you a question. If you were in the position of Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei, what would you do? In your hands is a technology that could become the most powerful tool in human history. It could cure cancer, it could solve climate change, it could eliminate poverty. But at the same time, if this same technology goes beyond human control, it could become the greatest threat to humanity. Would you stop or would you move forward? Write your answer in the comment section. I genuinely want to know what you think. Because this question is not only for Dario Amodei to answer in the coming decade, the entire world may have to face it. Now it is time to reveal the final piece of information, the one I mentioned at the beginning. A report published in Scientific American highlights the most important line from Anthropic's research. Anthropic states, at each step of building AI, the human role is shrinking. In other words, at every stage of AI development, the role of humans is becoming smaller. And then they add, we are not there yet, and recursive self-improvement is not inevitable. Meaning, we have not reached that point yet, and recursive self-improvement is not guaranteed to happen. But the most important word in that sentence is the last one, yet. We are not there yet. Yet means we have not arrived, but we could. That single word already suggests that even they do not fully know when this threshold will be crossed. Now, let's look at the bigger picture. We are standing at the edge of an era where leaders of AI companies themselves are saying they are worried, they are going to governments asking for regulations, they are calling for limits. Some are even asking to slow down, but the development is not stopping. Why? Because there is competition, because there is money, because there is pressure. According to an analysis by Tom's Hardware, the 4 biggest tech companies in the world are expected to invest more than $650 billion in AI infrastructure this year alone. $650 billion. With that kind of money on the table, how many people will actually listen to the idea of a pause? And this brings us to the biggest question of all. Can humans truly keep AI under control, or has it already become too late? History has faced situations like this many times before, where things created by humans eventually became a risk to them. Fire, nuclear power, the internet. In every case, humans were first afraid, then they learned to understand, then they built rules around it. Maybe the same will happen with AI as well. But the speed of AI is different from all previous technologies. Fire did not improve itself. Nuclear bombs did not redesign themselves. The internet did not rewrite its own architecture. AI does, and it is improving from 3 times to 52 times in just a year and a half. Is Anthropic on the right path? Are they truly prioritizing safety? Or is this just PR, a public relations strategy? Or are they genuinely scared? I don't know. But what I do know is this: the decisions made about AI in the next few years may become the most important decisions in human history. And those decisions will not be made only by CEOs. Governments will decide, scientists will decide, ordinary people will decide, you will decide, because both the benefits and the risks of AI will affect you directly. So stay informed, stay aware, and understand what is happening. If you found this video valuable, share it with your friends, because the more people understand this topic, the better. Subscribe, turn on the bell icon, because more surprising videos about the AI revolution are coming soon. That's it for today. See you in the next video.